Nick and Nate have no chance. I'll beat both those scrubs up in the same night. They're little nerds, and they're going to be part of Nerd Bash soon. They're going to be on the VIP guest list for Nerd Bash. No nerd is safe.
Wow, can you imagine that? That would be unbelievable. Nick also said that he started doing MMA because it's not the WWF, and a lot of fighters have been saying this lately, but in reality, MMA, it's sports entertainment, and it's taken a lot of stuff from the WWE from the very beginning, combat sports in general, when you go back to guys like Muhammad Ali and even before that. Why do you think so many fighters, included Nick in that, still sort of cling to the idea that MMA is a pure sport?
The thing is with the entertainment business of fighting is, you got to be an entertainer, and you got to sell drama. That's what this sport's all about now. It's not sometimes, the fans don't want to see two fighters that are going to be nice and there's no lead up to it. The WWE style, the model sells. That's what sells pay-per-view. People want controversy, and controversy sells. So whether Nick's saying that he doesn't like the WWF or WWE style, he's been one that's had that persona and that pro wrestling gimmick. He's the one that built controversy. That's how his career was built. So no matter what, if he wants to like it or not, he's copying and resembled pro wrestling.
And I think that's a fascinating thing that you say, because, you get a certain rap, but I think that's one of the realest things that you've said. The Diaz brothers, part of their popularity is because people, they like their personality. They like that entertainment side. Do you sort of feel like, that's why guys like yourself and Connor and Chael, you guys do sort of ascend to the levels of, I guess you have so much success because you perfectly understand the mix of not only skills, but, and there's a lot of guys in the sport, obviously, that are tremendously skilled, athletically, amazing fighters, but maybe they're just missing out on that, I guess, promotional side. And you understand both of those things very well.
Absolutely. You gotta draw to the masses, like how did you guys are over on Australia and you knew who I was. So you guys weren't going to me if I didn't get my name out there and reach a bigger audience. You can't just get the casual fan in MMA. That's not that's not the drawing power. You need to draw the people that aren't the casual fans, the people that are in Hollywood, you need to draw, other people to the sport. And that's the promotional side and the marketing side that a lot of these fighters, they don't get, man. You put that, the reason there's no stars, is because these fighters don't know how to promote, market themselves. They don't know how to sell a fight, and that's what the ultimate goal is, and that's what these guys don't understand. You have to sell fights. You have to. There needs to be a bad guy, good guy. That's what creates drama and controversy, and that's what the fans want to see. None of these people are using their time after they get a win in the UFC to sell their next fight. They get on the mic and they don't know how to shoot a promo. They're like, "Oh, I'll fight anybody the UFC gives me." Okay, man, you want to keep making minimum wage and making your little $10,000 paychecks, cool, but you're not selling fights and you're not getting the fans interested. And that's what I do best. I get the fans engaged. If you look at my social media, my engagement is like something of someone who has millions of followers. I'm getting thousands of comments on almost every post. So, I know how to sell fights. I know how to create the angle, and that's what it is. That's what the pro wrestling that they do. They have the angles, and these guys don't know how to create angles, and that's why the UFC is boring these days. And ultimately, that's why Colby Chaos Covington came, to make the UFC great again.
And I was going to say, well, you mentioned obviously Lesnar and DC. Do you think that kind of highlights where the sport is and sort of proves the point that, hey, it really is entertainment?
Yeah, 100%. It's all about entertainment. It's a show business. So, you can't just be entertaining inside the cage. You got to be out entertaining on social media. You got to do things to get, fans engaged and get them want to watch your fights. Whether they want to see you lose or they win, it's all the same thing. They're all going to tune into your pay-per-views and buy your pay-per-views. So, the Lesnar and DC thing, a lot of people are saying that Lesnar doesn't deserve the title shot. He absolutely deserves the title shot because, one, this is the entertainment business, and he entertains. He gets that. And another thing Lesnar does is he sells tickets, he sells pay-per-views, and he knows how to sell a fight. So, I think a lot of these fighters should learn from Brock Lesnar and Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, obviously a big pro wrestling fan yourself. What did you think when you saw that go down at UFC 226? Give us your rating on the Brock Lesnar promo as well. Did you like the way it went down?
Oh, I love the way it went down. I didn't think Brock Lesnar could shoot a promo. Over in WWE, he's got Paul Heyman doing. He's got Paul Heyman doing all the talking for him. So he shot a good promo. He created controversy. He pushed DC and all the fans go ooh. So that's what the fans want to see. And that fight's going to be a big build up now. And there's going to be a lot of fans talking about that for the months to come until the fight happens.
I know it's early days, but how do you see that fight going? Because a lot of people think DC's probably going to go in there and have his way with Brock Lesnar. Do you see any path to victory for Brock Lesnar, or do you think it's going to be the DC show all the way?
It's definitely going to be the DC show all the way. He's the natty goat for a reason. So I see him completely dismantling Brock Lesnar. But, the beauty of fighting is all it takes is one punch. So, I think it's Daniel Cormier is 99.9% to win. But, there's still that 1.1% that he could win. And that's what makes MMA so interesting. So it's going to be a good fight. And the build-up's going to be sick. So I can't wait to see Brock Lesnar versus DC.
When you mentioned DC as the natty goat, where do you sort of see John Jones in that conversation? A lot of people always debating where he fits in when that discussion goes down.
Maybe he's in the GOAT discussion for, the asterisk division. He's got an asterisk next to his name for the GOAT because, what he's done is a proven track record. People were getting mad at me for calling John Jones out for the truth, It's not my fault he's got 2 hookers in the back of his car and he's wrecking the UFC Bentley around a pole when he's got his wife and kids at home. It's not my fault he's in his rental car and he hits a pregnant lady and then he runs for the foothills with his coke and his drugs and his weed and his money. It's not my fault he's failing 2 or 3 steroid tests. So, people need to look at the root of the problem. I don't think you can consider that guy in the GOAT discussion unless you have an asterisk next to his name.
And when you say DC's the natty goat, what exactly do you mean by that? You mean because he's asterisk free?
Yeah, he's the natty goat. He's the natural goat. He's the real greatest of all time because he's never done steroids. He's never had issues out of fighting. You don't see him at the bar getting in fights. You don't see him having legal problems like John Jones. So, he's the natty goat, the natural greatest of all time. And that's all. That's the real greatest of all time that matters. The greatest of all time with the asterisk next to it, you're always going to have negative and a lot of stuff hanging around that. You can't consider John the greatest of all time. DC's work has proven that he's the greatest of all time.